What's up everyone, I'm Matt, this is Recover and Ready, and it's time to talk Versus System 2 PCG. Today we're back with another episode of Community Cuts, this time featuring MCU Spider-Man by none other than Robby Stewart, the runner-up at the Duality Texas Regional. But with a twist, I talked to Robby about how he might build this deck in a format with no restrictions like Multiverse, and I'm excited to present the draft he provided. I really love finding out from top players in our community how they would build their decks in an open format. I think it really opens up some insights on good deck construction, card quality, and deck building packages. But above all, I love to explore the limits of what a specific main character can do. Hopefully this video can be a piece of that puzzle for players moving forward, whether you're interested in piloting Spider-Man or figuring out how to tech against him. And like always, please get in the discussion. Use that comment section to tell us your favorite inclusions, how you would build Spider-Man, and how you would tech against him. But before we get started, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It really helps spread the word about Versus System 2 PCG. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to watch Robby's interview breakdown of his Duality Spidey deck on C-Stack's YouTube channel. From there, you'll have a good starting point to compare it with his multiverse upgrades here. You'll see that both decks really leverage TVA's powerful ability to let you load up on late game haymakers and get to them early, and both feature Sylvie as a key way to leverage all the locations that you play, both to level up Spidey and to support your ramp plan with TVA. It's cool to see how he was able to carve out a Duality list that didn't need a ton of upgrades for Multiverse, and I hope you're as excited as I am to see the changes he made for an open format. With that, let's get to the list. We're looking at Spider-Man MCU level 1. He's a hero affiliated main character. He's a 3/3 and he has 5 health. He has 2 abilities at level 1, which are Climb and Homecoming. Let's start by looking at his level up condition, Homecoming. You'll need 4 XP, and he gets an XP every time he climbs a location that he has not climbed yet this game. So we're stuffing the deck full of a bunch of different locations in order to play into this. His other ability, Climb, which is the one that plays into his XP and level up condition, is at the start of your main phase, you can exhaust a location on your side. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on Spider-Man. In reality, this Climb ability makes you look at his stats in a little bit different way. Think of it like if you're on the play, you're starting off as a 4/4 because you're going to climb on your first turn. If you're on the draw, however, you want to think of yourself as a 3/3 since you're not going to get to climb until after your opponent takes a turn. Once you've climbed 4 different locations, you're going to level up into a 6/6 with 5 health. Once again, if you've climbed a bunch, then you might be much bigger than a 6/6 when you get here, which is at least what you hope. Your ability is Far From Home. When one of the following locations appear on your side, you're going to get an effect. Academy draws you 2 cards. Fortress puts 3 1/1 counters on Spider-Man. Laboratory puts 3 negative counters on an enemy character, including a main it could be. Training Ground, Spider-Man strikes an enemy character, which is really good for getting problematic back row stuff out of the way that you wouldn't be able to get to otherwise, or just something that maybe you don't want to trade with that you can get out of the way with a direct strike. You got Avengers Tower, which counts as any of the above locations, so it's like your wild card. And then your last ability, Paragliding, is basically Climb, but additionally giving you flight until the end of the turn, which is really cool because that helps you, get over the front row. Maybe you need to put in that final point of damage or get to something that's been causing you problems in the back. I really love the assortment of abilities on this level 2 Spider-Man, kind of making him a jack of all trades. He can draw you cards, he can shrink guys, he can make your guys bigger, he can get extra strikes in, and he can get to the back row. So basically, he makes himself into a sort of Swiss Army knife that can do a bunch of things and hopefully resolve some sticky situations for you, or keep you ahead if you're ahead, or even help you catch up if you're behind. So as we look at the main character and what possibilities he offers, we start to conceptualize a game plan that fits with what he does and synergizes it with the deck as well. So Spider-Man is going to want us to play a ton of locations to enable his climb and level up as fast as possible. For playing a ton of locations, it makes sense to play TVA because TVA is going to use those extra locations to speed up the ramp for us faster than for our opponent. And as we do that, what we're looking to do is use a bunch of those extra locations to get mad value off of cards like Sylvie that we're going to see. From there, what we're going to be doing is using all of this locations and resources that we got to play some good stuff cards, just some staples that are really good in a lot of decks, as well as to stick some lockout pieces at the very top, since hopefully we're going to be able to either A, get to it faster than our opponent, or more reliably at least, or B, just take advantage of the reality that our deck is more likely top end heavy than our opponent's deck will be, and so by ramping we can really crush them with our big guys. So let's lead with the locations, what enables Spider-Man to level up quickly, as well as the ramp package and supporting pieces that are going to go there since they are so important to the deck overall. We are playing 4 TVA, a powerhouse card that's going to let us and our opponents play an additional resource on our turn as long as it's a location and there isn't already a location with that name on any side. Playing 4 of those, we're playing 4 Avengers Towers, 4 X-Files, 4 yellows, 4 greens, and 3 blues. The X-Files is going to support Mulder and Scully later on. And the blues are going to support Classic Loki, who's going to help us ramp even harder by searching for a special location, putting it directly onto our side. So with all this ramp and locations going on, we can really accelerate out our hateful stuff. We got 3 Fox Mulder, 2 Ego, and 2 Chronica. Ego's ability to shrink others who are in combat with him basically makes him a powerhouse attacker and a brick wall in the defense, forcing your opponent to play team attacks or use other strategies to get through. A well-timed Fox Mulder will help lock your opponent out of efficient plays by removing from their hand and deck the best card that they possibly could be playing at the moment for the situation given. Historically, this card is already backbreaking in the late game, but if you can drop this early with TVA, this is brutal. Ramping with the TVA into Chronica is also devastating, as on your turn you'll be a couple locations ahead, but then you'll shut out your opponent's ability to drop 2 locations on their turn, and so they'll always be behind on locations at this point as you KO resources one at a time. And if you happen to play her once you've already dropped Ego or Fox Mulder, heaven help them, they're probably not going to come back. And Photo gets a really powerful new tool in Homelander, a 14/14 flight, range 3 health for 8. His ability to flip a green and search your deck for a card during your build or main or anytime combat phase makes all moments in the game potentially devastating. Since this guy sticks around for a while during the build phase, he's going to get you the hateful pieces you might want, like Ego or Mulder, for example. Or if you're just trying to win a value war or attrition war, getting Sylvie or Bucky is going to be key. Maybe you just need to survive another turn or two. You start searching for your healers, like Dana Scully, for example. And your opponents are really going to be de-incentivized from attacking you during combat due to your ability to fetch out plot twists like Friend from Work or things along that line, which can hose them. And what makes Homelander particularly disgusting in this deck is his synergy with the main character level 2 Spider-Man, as well as with our 3 copies of Sylvie. His keyword, "I can do whatever the hell I want," literally becomes true when you have these 2 cards out. With Sylvie in play a yellow essentially means draw 2, hose your opponent's next attack step. Play a green means buff 2 of your guys. Play a blue means nerf and kill most of their board. Play a red means kill a dude and pop off a free ability. And Homelander's ability to facilitate exactly which of these you want in the moment you want it is absolutely crazy. And as we're cruising down value lane, we might as well be playing some good cards. We're playing 3 of Iron Man, 3 Bucky, and 3 Quicksilver. Iron Man's going to keep that value train rolling by drawing you cards and making your guys bigger. Bucky's going to keep those cards coming in smooth, all the while he'll be lethal in your opponent's roughest guys off the board. And as you know, at the cost of 4, there's nothing else that screams out heinous menace in combat than Quicksilver, who is way too overstated. This card should have never been printed. Alright, so we're ramping into hateful guys off the top, we're riding the value train, and we're just playing good, solid stuff. All we gotta do now is live long enough to pulverize our opponents to dust. With that in mind, we have 3 copies of Dana Scully, 3 copies of Groot, and 2 copies of 5-cost Vision. Scully's going to extend our turns by healing us, as will Groot by giving us a sort of virtual heal. As will Vision, as coming down as a 12/12 with flight and sticking him in the front row is probably going to buy us at least an extra turn. And 4 copies of You're the Last One, along with a couple of Friend from Work, are going to help us hang in there until we can put the nail in the coffin. So that about does it for the deck, so let's take a quick peek at what sets are needed to build it. We're looking at Friendly Neighborhood, MCU battles, X-Files battles, Loki, Power and Reality, WandaVision, Space and Time, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Mortal Kombat, and MCU villains. Of course, if you're interested in building this archetype, take what you consider to be the key pieces from the deck and then go ahead and tune the deck according to your preferences and collection. And with that, let's wrap up with another big shout out and thank you to Robby Stewart for sharing his ideas on building Multiverse MCU Spider-Man, and congrats again on your strong regional finish. As always, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And make sure to introduce your friends to Versus System 2 PCG. Thanks for joining us on Recover and Ready, and we'll see you next time.